Right, let's go over a little bit of science today. Flat Earth science compared with this funny stuff. Funny stuff they call science. The spinning ball stuff. I suggest watching this video about the black hole. The black hole, which describes this whole system. I'll just show you some photographs. I got off the video, I'm going to talk about the video. Look at the shape of this expanding universe. Also another picture of the universe. Here we have the outer magnetic field on the vortex and the inner electrical circuit in the center. I'll go on about that soon. Black hole, Big Bang, history of the universe. So there's the Milky Way, the electrical circuit within the magnetic field. There, in there sits this. Look at that. This is the depiction of the universe. String theory. Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited to all we now know and understand, while imagination embraces the entire world and all there ever will be to know and understand. That was Einstein. Now, I've just watched the video. If you haven't seen my videos before, it's all about flat Earth. I've got the whole system down pat, I think. And so I'm just going to compare the black hole science to this whole system here. So Einstein showed the universe expanded, but then he added something to his equation that meant it didn't. So he knew the universe expanded, and it does. It winds up and it moves out. As it comes up, it expands out. But it doesn't keep expanding. It goes up, comes back into the center and shoots back down there, and then recycles again. But so let's just read this again. Einstein showed the universe expanded, but then he added something to his equation, which was the cosmological constant. That meant it didn't, but really he probably knew it expanded to a point before recycling to begin again. So yes, the universe expands, it also does not. I guess he was right twice. So, and that was that picture of the expanding universe I just showed. That one there. Now, doesn't that look like the vortex in the centre of our Earth? Big Bang theory. Wasn't a big bang. So that cosmological constant he added basically was helping the universe to stay in place. Now then there was a guy called George Lemaitre in 1927, a priest close to the Pope. Ooh. Who doesn't know the Catholic Church is running everything? He came up with a cosmic egg. Cosmic egg. See that? There's an egg. All the planets wander around there. Wandering stars. Cosmic egg. The egg in here. On the ecliptic. Electrical circuit in the middle. Sun in the middle. But then they decided to call it the Big Bang theory. Cosmic egg was just one of the names he was trying to find for it. Hubble discovered the galaxies were floating away from our Milky Way. Voila! Everything is winding up and out. The Milky Way is in the centre. There it is. We're out here. There it is, centre north. Milky Way, that's what it looks like. Down through there, the spin, the sun off to the side. Crocodile head, as the Egyptians have it. So, two radio astronomers, engineers, Penzias and Wilson, working on a microwave satellite dish, picked up this noise they couldn't remove. And the other astronomers told them they picked up the signal of the Big Bang. The Big Bang that happened 14 billion years ago. I thought that was 4.5 billion years ago last I heard. It's got 14 billion in this video. 14 billion years ago. They picked up the sound in here. It's always making a sound. Just like the power plants out there on the lampposts, some of them. Transformers. A buzzing sound. That's basically what it sounds like. Because it's in there. It's creating electrical current. Plasma, or whatever you want to call it. We probably don't detect it with our ears, but you know, who's been up to the Arctic Circle anyway? There's people up there, they've all detected with devices, but it's basically what it is, the electrical current. You've picked that up. So science says that, this is laughable. That it's just something that happened 14 billion years ago. And this is always in motion. It's always coming up. Very slowly though. And recycling back down. It's the field. Down, out south, back down, up the centre. Ken Wheeler describes it in Santos, they know. Centrifugal divergence and magnetism. Centrifugal divergence. It's coming like that. But at the same time, this is coming back up and going down, so you got the convergence, divergence. Centrifugal divergence, convergence. Convergence, the equator, the tropics. And then science goes on in the video, it talks about, we figured all this out in the last 100 years. I figured all this out in the last 6 months. But then I went, hang on a minute. Went to Samaritan or Sumatrans or the Babylonians, the Egyptians, Chinese, had all this figured out thousands of years ago. This thing here, not that, but the system. But they've done away with it all, haven't they? And put it under the spinning ball BS. And the narrator in here, it goes on, cosmologists are special because they know exactly what they do not understand. They know exactly what they do not understand. And there's a question that asks yourself, what do I know I don't know? You should ask scientists, what don't they know that they don't know? The average scientist doesn't know this centre north vortex because you can't see it. Sure, most things work on the spinning ball, but all the answers come to light once you know this system here. And you understand, beyond the equator to here, it's all relative. This is where Einstein started making all his work, all his theories started coming out. Because he knew Earth was flat, and he wanted to know how and why. And this is where the theory of relativity comes into it. Being out here is relative to you. On a 2D flat drawn map, you have to distort the land out here. just follow the longitudinals or meridians. It all works out because it's like it's inverted. It's a weird thing, but this is why they brought the Earth, used the ball theory and brought everything back in. It's some sort of inverting system working in this magical realm we live in. Photograph of the black hole. Can we get a photograph of the black hole? No, I thought I did. Well, the black hole, the photograph of the black hole, it looks like this. Black hole, and there's this big electrical brightness around the horizon here. But basically it boils down to this. It's the only black hole we can be concerned about, but still nothing to be concerned about. What falls back down through here. Everything moves up in time. It does, they say. In the universe, everything moves up in time. How do they figure that out? Over the spinning ball. Moving up. It's in there. Moves up. Nothing can move back in time. That's what I'm saying. Nothing can come back in time unless it's being recycled. Like all the planets, everything can only move in one direction because of the movement of this vortex. Everything moves in that one motion. This spins in the opposite direction, but that's when everything gets recycled. But everything around here is in the magnetic field out here, not in the center, and it's all moving in this magnetic field. Retrograde we talk about goes in here. Sun will move round, it'll come back into the sun. That's what the planets are doing. And I think I've just realised, I'm not an astronomer, so I don't know too much about the cosmos. I've just figured all this out. The sun, the moon comes in here to be re-energized. I've just realised today that all the planets do the same. Well, I knew they did, but I hadn't figured out whether they actually disappear. And I've just seen a video. They're showing the tracks they take, and they just disappear. And then they do their thing. They're all doing it. They're all fading out into the sun, when they face the sun, then they carry on. They sort of see them do this retrograde movement though. That you want to look into it. Purple cocktail picture, the Big Bang, and that's the vortex shape. Cocktail glass in the photos here. Yeah, there's the vortex. Then there is Stephen Hawkins, who declared particles and antiparticles are being formed in space all the time. Particles and antiparticles. And the way they describe it is like the electrical and the magnetic. All the time. The two. Basically, the way I see it. And suggests what if both live on the horizon, of like the black hole on the horizon here, like so you've got the electrical and the magnetic. So you've got the magnetic out here, and so they're so close, they're right there. Basically describing that. This is blown up image of what he's talking about. They live on the horizon, one just on the inside and one just on the outside. But not literally in the black hole. No, not in the black hole. Just on the horizon of, these 2 points. Going and gives back the information. So it teams up, electrical and magnetic teams up to give the information, create the electromagnetic field, I suppose. There he needs to know, and then he says you need to understand proper physics to get into all that. He's just described the magnetic and the electric field, I say. Just one of the many dualities in our world, because it's all a duality, everything's about matter and antimatter, you know, electrons, protons, you know, positive, negative. You've got the 2 systems here, the physical, non-physical. We're out here, we didn't even see this, not until it's blown up in the microscopic. The sun, the voltage in here just blows it all up out here. It's all projected, microscopic point of view for us to see. We don't actually see much at all, it's our brains that connect it all. Our eyes will take it in and feed it to our brain. And our reality is formed inside our brain here. So you have that 2 systems, those 2 systems, that system, here. Then over here you have the duality again. Because the convergence, magnetic field, we have our, what we see is the sun and that out here. We see it out here. So you've got the system there, those 2. Then you have us as the physical, and that is the non-physical. Physical, non-physical, then you have this is the non-physical, because the sun's not physical, it's a projection, but we're supposed to be physical. There's another duality there. Bit mind-blowing. Then regarding string theory, the photo shows basically the sine wave and the motion. Yeah, like a flock of starlings, that motion they do, the flutter. This sort of thing here. You'd have to see it on video, but it's basically the same thing. That's what I think this represents on Horus's eye, the sine wave. So string theory is showing the inner half string connection to another half becoming singularity. So once again that's two into one, because our system's a 2-part system, and this is about divine awakening, bringing Lower Egypt up to Upper Egypt. That's the whole story. It's basically back to chakras. At the lower, this is what the Egyptian story is telling you. Lower Egypt and Upper Egypt in your system. You have to bring them together to create the singularity for the awakening. And this is what all life is all about. Forming singularity. Magnetism and electric creating the one. Electromagnetism. But there's just so many dualities. Yeah, and that was it. So I recommend you see this video, www.scienceandcocktail.org, and related to all this, it's all there. They can't explain everything properly, but if you understand that system, Milky Way, and here's at the centre of our north, it all gets reflected out here. And something else I just discovered recently, reading Egyptian knowledge, can't remember what the book's called. The Milky Way, Osiris, the Milky Way, the horns. That's inverted, but the sun, looking like this. So the sun, right? Over the night, when it passes across the sky, this is the Milky Way. This was ends up being west, and east. But this way, it's creating the horns. The bull represents the bull. I'm drifting off what I did the video about, but I'll do another video on this. I'll get more involved with that. But yeah, that's science. It's their science, but it's really this. That's science. Milky Way in the centre of the magnetic vortex. Put it that way. But check out the video. Okay, stop it there.